Altituders, hey, I'm Nick Schutz. I'm so glad you're here to join us in the book of Job. As we are doing the Running Through the Wilderness series, man, it's frustrating that we can't all be together, but I hope that just some time together on these videos and going through the study together in Job, that you get a little picture of what it's like to be at the Altitude Project. So normally we'd be in a small group. We would be reading through this stuff together. We'd be answering questions. We'd be asking questions that aren't on the study, and we'd be wrestling through it together. We can't do that, obviously. So I just want to give you a little bit of insight into the first couple of chapters, and then give you a little story to tell you about what suffering is kind of looked at like in my life, and what God's done through that. So. First off, chapter 1 and 2 of Job is like where most of the action is in the whole book. And if you decide to read through the whole book, once you hit chapter 3, things slow down big time. It's like you're running on pavement and then you hit like really, really sticky mud, and you get like wind pushing against you, and there's like something else that's slowing you down, like a parachute or something stuck on you. Right? And what's happening in chapter 1 and 2 is we're introduced to the characters. 1, you got Job, richest guy in the area. He's got lots of kids, lots of livestock. He's got a wife. We don't know much about him. We don't know if he's an Israelite or not. But we do know that he is devoted to God. And this devotion is so clear because even God, who can't lie, says, hey, check out my servant Job. There's nobody like him on the earth. Man, I don't think God can say that. Well, he can say that about me, but not in the same context, right? I'm unique, just as you are. But, yeah, and he's saying it. So section 2, like we got Job, we got all this stuff, you got God, and then you got Satan, or the Satan, who, I'm not going to spoil his name, but he doesn't disagree with God, but he says, well, why? Why is he devoted to you, God? And I think that's a good question. It's a motivation thing. What motivates you to stay connected to God? And Satan, I think, is saying, it's because of what you've given him, the blessings. That's why he loves you. That's why he worships you and does the things that are right. So God says, okay, take it away. See what happens. So that's what happens. And next we see Satan isn't satisfied with that, and he says, you know what? Let's go another step, and let's affect this guy physically. Have you been affected physically? Maybe you had an injury. You've definitely had loss. I know that because I can't imagine any of you had a track season this last spring. And so how do you deal with loss? How do you deal with injury? Maybe you think in your mind, I worked so hard, this is unfair that I am hurt now. Or I worked so hard, it is unfair that I didn't get to test my fitness in races against people who are better than me or as good as me. Because I certainly wanted to beat that rival of mine, right? Man, Eric, I can't remember his last name, from Canby High School. He was my rival, and we went back and forth so many times in high school. I loved racing him, and I would have missed racing him if I was still racing him, right? So how do you deal with suffering? Is God just? Is he allowing this to happen? Is that fair? Is that okay? The question this isn't going to answer, this book, is why is suffering happen to a good person? So these are all questions that I think you need to be thinking about, and I challenge you to do a little bit of journaling on how do you respond to suffering, and then also how might you like to respond to suffering. What you're going to be challenged with in this book is, can you trust God? Is God good? And I think you're going to find some interesting answers. So enjoy the study, and I I will see you later. Bye.